Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Council, are we ready to proceed? Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Yeah, I'm going to probably use 36. I'm going to put 36. I will do the light version, and then I'm going to show this at the
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Council, please stipulate to the return of the presence of our jury.
The state will stipulate, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
That stipulates, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Is the state prepared to call its next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state will call Enrico Fiola to the stand.
All right. Good afternoon. Please step into the witness box. Please remain standing. Madam Clerk will put you under oath, okay?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Please state your full name, spelling your last name.
Enrico Viola, F as in Frank, E-O-L-A.
Thank you. And please state your address.
34 Ashwood Circle, Shelton, Connecticut, 06484.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Just do me a favor, keep your voice up, because there's a fan that's blowing, just so we can all hear you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Enrico, do you go by anything else?
Ricky,
Are you nervous to be here today?
a little bit.
How old are you?
20 years old.
And are you currently in school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
University of Connecticut,
And what are you studying?
psychology.
And do you work?
Yes, I work 2 jobs for an insurance company out of Ohio, American Income. And then I work for a roofing company out of Watertown, Modern Way Roofing.
Now, prior to your testimony today, have we met?
Yes, we have.
And why have we met?
Just to go over everything regarding this case.
And directing your attention to May 14th of 2022, how old were you back then?
I was 17 years old.
And were you in school?
Yes.
What school?
Shelton High School.
And what year were you?
I was a junior.
And on May 14th of 22, did you have an occasion, withdrawn, when you were in school, did you play any sports?
Yes, I played football, basketball, and then during that junior year, I actually was playing lacrosse.
Now, on May 14th of 2022, did you have an occasion to go to Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
And why did you go to Tyler Rich's house?
He had invited us. We were good friends. He invited me and a couple of my friends over for a gathering.
Show you State's Exhibit 9. You know whose house that is?
Yes,
House.
Tyler Rich.
And when you say you went over to his house for a gathering,
What kind of gathering was it?
It was like a party, just friends, people that we all knew, mainly Shelton people, just getting together, hanging out.
Around what time would you say you got to Tyler Rich's house?
Around anywhere between 9:15.
And when you got to Tyler Rich's house, how many people were there?
Between 25 to 35 people.
Okay. And were you drinking that night?
I only had one beer that night.
Yeah. Was anybody else drinking at Tyler Rich's house that night?
Yes.
Now, are you familiar with withdraw?
Show you State's Exhibit 54. Do you know who that individual is?
Yes.
Who is that?
Faison Teal.
How do you know Faison?
Football teammate, good friend of mine, grade above me.
Showing you 56. Are you familiar with this individual?
Yes.
Who is that?
Ryan Hines.
How are you familiar with him?
Same thing, football teammate, he's grade below me, good friend.
Showing you 55. Are you familiar with 55?
Yes.
Who is in State 55?
Thomas Connery,
How are you familiar with him?
great friend of mine, known him for a long time.
In State 57, are you familiar with the individual in State 57?
Yes.
How are you familiar with this individual?
Also, incredible friend of mine, it's Jimmy. I actually took that picture before we left.
You took this picture?
Yes.
Where did you take this picture?
Nick DeJesus' house.
And you took this picture prior to going to 43 Laurel Glen
Yes.
that night?
Yes.
So did you go over to Laurel Glen with Jimmy?
Yes.
Were you with anybody else?
Nicky DeJesus, and I don't recall if it was Sal Perry or if it was just us three.
Now, you said you mentioned Sal Perry. You're familiar with Sal Perry?
Yes.
How are you familiar with him?
Also a good friend of mine. He's a year older than me. Been friends with him for probably since like 6th grade or so.
And was he at 43 Laurel Glen that night?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Mike Sampieri?
Yes.
How do you know him?
Also, same neighborhood as Thomas Connery. I used to hang out around there a lot. He's a year below me.
And how about Alex Bernstein? Do you know him?
I didn't know him too well at that time. I knew he was a friend of Tanner Chernowski's. It was probably maybe the second or third time I'd ran into him at Tyler's house.
He was there that night?
Yes.
How about Mike Sampieri? Was he also at Tyler Rich's house?
Yes, sir.
Charlie Connery. Do you know Charlie?
Yes, very well. Great friend of mine. We grew up together, played sports together. Tommy's brother. Yeah, great friend of mine.
How about Jacob Villalobos?
Also another great friend of mine, football player.
And how about Matt Lakovich?
Same thing, same category, football teammate. Knew him for a long time.
And the individuals I just mentioned, were they all also at 43 Laurel Glen that night?
Yes, they were.
And what kinds of things were going on? Withdrawn. When you got to 43 Laurel Glen, how did you go in the house?
Yes.
How did you go in the house?
I think I entered through the side door, it's just on the side of the garage, left side of the garage.
And when you went into the side door, where did you go in the house?
I just went down to the basement.
And what kinds of things were happening in the basement when you went to the basement?
Just a lot of people talking, there was some drinking, music going on. That's really it.
And at some point in time, withdrawn. Are you familiar with Griffin Marcinzik?
Yes, sir.
How do you know him?
Looks, younger than me, grew up, same neighborhood, kind of. We used to, bike around, hang out together. Look at him like a little brother, kind of.
At some point in time, did Griffin Marcinzik and Ryan Hines arrive at 43 Laurel Glen that night?
Yes, they did.
And did you have a conversation with either Ryan and or Griffin?
Yes, so I was made aware that they were coming to Tyler's house after something had happened a couple streets down, right around the corner. I think it was Lazy Brook Road.
And how long would you say you were there at 43 Laurel Glen prior to Ryan and Griffin arriving, if you recall?
Probably anywhere around an hour, maybe 45 minutes.
So at some point in time after you spoke with Ryan and Griffin, were you made aware of a car arriving at the house?
Yes, so it was probably within 5 to 10 minutes after Ryan and Griffin had arrived that a car that we didn't recognize had showed up. I was made aware by one of the people at the house.
Now, prior to the car arriving, were you aware of any group message or group chat that was going on?
No, I was not.
Were you ever part of that group message or group chat at any point in time that night?
No, sir.
Since this incident had occurred, have you been made aware of the group chat that was going on that night?
Yes.
But you weren't part of it?
No, sir.
So when you heard that there was a car that arrived outside, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you did?
So when I was made aware of the car arriving, the homeowner had rallied up a couple of his good friends. I'd say it was a little bit over 10 of them, just to kind of go outside and confront the car, because to our knowledge, we had known that this was the car that had individuals in it that had been involved in the altercation I was made aware of at Lazy Brook, where one of our friends was physically harmed. So we had went outside to at least confront them and ask them why they were even at Tyler's house in the first place.
Did you walk out of the house at some point?
Yes.
How did you get out of the house?
I had left through these Belco doors if you're looking at the garage to the right side of it, on the right side of the house.
Showing you states 9. Would that be just to the right of this, appears to be a BMW,
Yes. Yes, sir.
this area?
Yes.
And when you walked out the Belco doors, how did you walk? How did you approach the car?
So I walked kind of through that opening where the trees on the right side, so right through that opening, and I just kind of walked down the driveway, approached the car.
Showing you states 49. Where did you, if you can recall, where did you remember seeing the car that arrived at 43 Laurel Glen that night?
Yes, so the car was parked, from what I can remember, almost kind of blocking the driveway, not all the way up to the left side of the driveway, but more so like in the middle of the road, kind of blocking it a little bit.
Be right around this area here where my finger's pointed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if the record can reflect that I'm pointing to the middle of Laurel Glen and I'm just to the left of the driveway in the center of the road as we're facing 43 Laurel Glen.
Right, the record will so reflect. Thank you.
So when you saw the car in the middle of the road there, do you remember what kind of car it was?
Yes, I remember it being a dark-colored Honda Pilot.
Showing you states 30, is this the car that you recall seeing that night?
Yes, sir.
And when the car arrived at 43 Laurel Glen on May 14th of 22, was it facing, which way was it facing? I'm showing 49, states 49. Which way was it facing? Was it facing Adams Road or was it facing Farmhouse?
The car was facing Farmhouse.
And
Up the road.
Did you approach the car?
Yes.
Did anybody else approach the car?
Yes.
About how many people do you think approached the car?
Give or take 10 to 12.
And when you approached the car, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you did?
So I was approaching the car to, first off, acknowledge who it was, because I was less aware of the situation at the time. I had just known that somebody was involved, so I had approached the car to kind of just confront and figure out who was in it, and also just be there for Tyler, because there's a car basically blocking his driveway and we wanted to get out of the way.
And when you approached the car, what side of the car did you approach?
I stayed on the driver's side, so closest to Tyler's house.
And when you got up to the car, did you have any conversations with the occupants of that car?
No, I never had any direct conversations. I just know there was a couple words being said between individuals around the car.
Did you notice anybody in the car that was familiar to you?
Yes.
Who did you notice?
I noticed Tyler Da Silva and Raul Valle.
And Tyler Da Silva, how do you know Tyler Da Silva?
I know his family. Some of them are from Shelton. I grew up, played some sports with his cousins, so I knew who he was.
And you mentioned Raul Valle. How do you know him?
I had previously been at a couple different functions, I guess, parties or more just gatherings where he was there. I wasn't really friendly or a friend of his. I just knew who he was.
And is Raul Valle present in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
And what is he wearing?
Blue jacket, light pink shirt, black tie.
Can you please point him out for the record? Your Honor, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant in this case?
Record will so reflect. Thank you.
Now, do you know whether or not the defendant has any nickname?
Yes,
What is his nickname?
Lido.
Now, when you recognized Mr. De Silva and the defendant in the car on that night, what, if anything, did you have an interaction with them?
No, not a direct interaction. I can't recall if I had said anything kind of just like, hey, get out of here. What are you guys doing here? But I know we were just kind of trying to usher them out of the area, but also posing question as to why they were putting hands on our friend previously, and just kind of just concerned for the occasion, I guess.
So, and that friend that you're mentioning is that Mr. Hines?
Yes, sir.
So, at some point in time, that interaction between your group of friends and the car, did that get heated at all?
I would say voices might have been raised. I remember us kind of yelling a little bit, like, you know, you guys jumped our boy, like, what are you doing here? Either get out or leave. But we were definitely more so telling them to leave, because we didn't, we could foresee possible trouble, so.
What time would you say that the Honda Pilot showed up to Tyler Rich's house? You had gotten there, you said around 9:10, 9:15. Could this have been like?
Probably, I want to say after 10 o'clock.
And at some point in time, was there an interaction between your group of friends and the people in the Honda Pilot prior to withdrawing? Did the Honda Pilot at some point leave the area?
Yes.
Before it left the area, was there an interaction, a physical interaction between your group of friends and the Honda Pilot, as far as your group of friends maybe putting their hands or throwing things at the car, if you recall?
I don't recall any physical altercation with the car. At least I remember the individuals in the car were kind of just looking at us. I really can't remember if anything was said. I know we were just kind of yelling, like I said, you know, what are you guys doing here? You guys jumped our friend. But as for any type of physicality, I just remember the car like speeding off and us kind of having to scatter out of the way.
And when the car sped off and you had to scatter out of the way, what, if anything, happened next?
So most of the individuals that were from Tyler's house had kind of made their way back towards the house. I just remember glancing towards down the road and seeing that the car didn't fully leave. I just saw the car kind of come to see the brake lights get on down the road. So and a couple individuals stayed around just to wonder what they were doing, I guess.
Prior to that happening, do you recall if the car drove up and down the road at all?
I don't recall.
And so at some point in time, you recall the car being stopped down the road?
Yes.
And did you observe what happened when you observed the car down the road stopped?
I remember some doors opening, which in a couple moments later, at some point, me and a couple individuals decided to go down in a non-aggressive way, just to kind of tell the individuals in the car, you know, you guys should probably leave, and almost, you know, try to confront them and wonder what was going on.
And so did you go down the street?
Yes.
Who did you go down the street with?
Charlie Connery, Ty Wood, Aiden King, Tyler Rich, Matthew Lockovich. There might have been one more person, I can't remember.
And when you went down the street, withdrawn, did you have any weapons on you that night?
No, sir.
Do you recall seeing any of your friends, whether or not they had any weapons on them that night?
No, sir.
And when you went down the street, do you recall if anybody in your group of friends that walked down the street, did they have any weapons on them at that point in time?
No, I don't. No.
And when you went down the street, did you observe who had gotten out of the car when you got down the street?
Not fully. I wasn't necessarily looking at who was getting out of the car. I saw that doors were opening. There were more people in the car than I had thought, I guess.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, when you went down the street, did you all go in a big group, or was it how did that happen?
No, we weren't all one group. I remember walking down with, I think it was Charlie and Ty next to me, but it was the group that I had mentioned previously, just previously, it was broken up a little bit, but we all went down around the same moment, around the same time. We just weren't in a pack.
And when you went down the street, did you observe Tyler Rich do anything down the street?
I did not observe him do anything. I was just made aware of a PB blaster can that was thrown from the car that he had picked up and sprayed.
And so were you present when that PB blaster was sprayed?
I did not see it. I don't know if I was present. I don't remember seeing it.
And what is PB blaster? Do you know what it is?
I think it might be something close to like WD-40, just some type of spray, mechanical, something like that.
So at some point in time, you became aware that someone was sprayed with a PB blaster or WD-40?
Yes.
And when you were made aware of this, was that down the street, down towards Farmhouse?
So from what I can recall, when I was approaching the individuals that were down the street, some point in time, whilst I was walking down or around that area, I was made aware that Tyler had sprayed Lito with the PB blaster.
And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 44. Have you seen the ring camera from 36 Laurel Glen before?
Yes, sir.
Let me play it real quick. Is this about where you sold the car? Stop and get out?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who just yelled at?
Yes.
Who was it?
Tyler Rich.
Now, do you know whether or not you're with this group of people that are right here?
I don't recall if I was with that particular group.
Now, at the time that State's Exhibit 44, we just played that camera view from the Ring doorbell. Do you recall whether or not that part of it took place before this WD-40 incident or after?
I'm almost certain that that video was before anything was sprayed at the defendant.
So at some point in time, you come down the street, and when you're down the street, tell us what your participation is in walking down the street.
So I did not go towards the left side of the street. If you're looking down from Tyler's house where that car had pulled off, I was more so on the right side, just observing, but also making sure nothing was going on that could be bad or possibly harmful.
So if we're looking at stage 49, you said you're on the right side down here?
Yes, sir.
And I'm pointing to the right side of Laurel Glen towards Farmhouse Road, where looks like this first telephone pole is. Is that about where you were in that area?
Do you mind moving your finger a little bit? No, just like out of the picture for a second. Yes, that was where I was.
And when you went down there, what if anything happened when you were down there?
So I didn't interact with anyone outside of one person. When I had walked down, I was made aware that the defendant was sprayed by PB blaster. And in that moment, I decided to approach the defendant. I didn't see him sprayed. It was just moments after I had found out he was. And I approached him with intent to almost take his side so that he would listen to me, at least. And I had said, hey man, look, I don't think it was right that he sprayed you, but listen, there's a lot of people back at his house. I'm not trying to fight. I don't think anyone here really is trying to fight. I think you guys should just leave. There's not a lot of you guys. And, while I was saying this to him, he was holding a knife in his left hand. His girlfriend, Mackenzie Traficante, was sitting down on the curb to his left, to my right. When I was speaking face to face with him, I didn't notice it right away, but I had glanced down and saw him holding a blade in his hand. So I, quickly just finished up what I had to say. Didn't seem like he was too interested to begin with, and he just kind of dismissed me, and I just walked away, and that was that. I actually walked away and conversed with Charlie Connery right after, and let him know that I just saw Lito with a knife.
And how would you describe the knife?
I didn't see any type of handle, but I guess using my hand, it was just like a 3-inch blade coming down from where his hand was closed.
What was the lighting out like that night?
It was dark outside, but I could totally see what was around me. I mean, our eyes adapt, and there was plenty of, street lights. I don't think there were any flashlights on at the moment, but I was not far from the defendant whatsoever. I could see everything.
How far would you say you were from him when you had this conversation with him?
A foot and a half, maybe.
And do you recall what the defendant was wearing that night when you were speaking with him?
Black pants and some type of light blue shirt, baby blue.
And do you recall what Tyler DeSilva was wearing that night?
Yeah, pair of jeans and a blue baseball jersey, light blue.
And the conversation you had was with the defendant, not Tyler Rich? Tyler DeSilva, excuse me?
Yes, sir.
And after you had this conversation with the defendant and you witnessed him holding a knife, how long would you say that conversation lasted for?
It wasn't really even a conversation. It felt like I was just talking at somebody, and they were just kind of like yesing me, and then just kind of like, yep.
Was that his reaction?
Yeah.
And did he say anything to you?
Nothing other than, yeah.
Okay. And after you spoke to him, what did you do next?
I quickly turned around, kind of looked for where my friends were at. I saw Charlie right away, Charles Connery. We decided to walk back to Tyler's house together, and I had let him know instantly, hey man, I was like, hey Chuck, that guy's got a knife, like what the hell? And then we just walked back to Tyler's house, where Tyler was trying to corral anyone left outside back into his basement.
So did you in fact go back into Tyler's house?
Yes.
And where did you go?
I went through the Belco doors the same way I had walked out initially.
And when you went back down to the basement, were you drinking any alcohol at that point?
No, sir.
And when you went back down in the basement, how long would you say you were in the basement for?
Not even 10 minutes. It was anywhere between 1 to 5 minutes long.
And when you were in the basement for about 5 minutes, did you have an occasion to come out of the basement for some reason?
Yes, sir.
And why did you come out of the basement for some reason?
I had heard, I was made aware, but I actually heard somebody say like, hey, they're back, or they're here, something like that, which prompted me to go back outside. I went back outside because I felt I was doing the right thing. I was at my buddy's house and I wanted to make sure everything was okay.
And when you got outside, did you exit the same way you went in the house?
Yes, sir.
Showing you state exhibit 9. So you would have come out in this little opening here to the right of the BMW.
Yes, sir.
And when you came out of the house, did you come down the driveway? How did you come out?
So when I had walked out of the Belco doors, in front of the blue truck, there's a space, so I could actually see that little front portion of the lawn. So I had saw the two individuals. I hadn't seen anything happen yet, but there was a little bit of people blocking, so I had to maneuver in between the back of the the blue truck, and in the front of that Jeep parked behind it. So I was actually like squeezing by in between that.
Just so I understand what you're saying, you came down this area, walked down the driveway a little bit, and squeezed in between the blue truck and the Jeep.
Yes, that's correct.
Showing you states exhibit 5. Again, you would have come down out this way on the driver's side of the blue truck, then squeezed between the front bumper of the Jeep and the back bumper of the blue pickup truck.
Yes, sir.
when you were coming out of the house, what did you notice about where?
Withdrawn. Who was there back? Who was on the lawn at that point?
I know Tyler DeSilva, Lito, Tyler Rich, Ty Wood, Tanner, Faison, Teal, Griffin Marcinzik, Taylor Capella, Lily Lombardi. I can't recall anyone else. I know there were more people though.
But out of your friends, those, was Tyler DeSilva and the defendant, were they part of your friend group?
No, not at all.
So we know who your friends are. When you came out of 43 Laurel Glen, you noticed the defendant and Tyler DeSilva on the front lawn.
Correct.
Now, are you able to tell in this exhibit that's up where you witnessed the defendant and Tyler DeSilva in the yard?
Yes, so when I had walked out, you could see that little gap in the front of the truck. You could actually see the AC unit. So I had seen Tyler DeSilva and Lito. I don't know if they were just done walking up or they had just been standing there, but they were kind of around that red bush area where our friends were kind of also around. But there was really only 2 or 3 people actually very close to the defendant and Tyler. The rest of the people were kind of behind, just watching, I guess.
Do you recall what side of if you're looking away from 43 Laurel Glen, what side the defendant and Tyler DeSilva were at? Were they standing next to each other? Were they?
Yeah, they were pretty close to each other. I don't recall exactly to a T where they were standing, but it was to the left if you're looking like from farmhouse towards, they're to the left of this bush, so closest to the picture.
Right, so they were, were they standing in this area here?
Yes.
And I'm pointing to the left of the red bush in this exhibit. You're on this exhibit again for the record 5.
So noted.
Do you recall where, so I have my 2 fingers here. Do you recall if like my index finger is Tyler DeSilva or the defendant, or my middle finger is Tyler DeSilva or the defendant? Do you recall which side they were on?
I don't recall.
Do you recall who, withdrawn, did your friends approach the defendant and Mr. DeSilva?
So I hadn't been out of the basement yet because when I had walked out, it seemed like there were people already out there. It must not have been too long because I walked out. It seemed like they had just arrived, but I don't really recall exactly what you were asking. I'm sorry.
So you walked out of the house, you squeezed in between the, withdrawn. Did you notice whether or not the defendant and or Tyler DeSilva were having a conversation with any of your friends?
It seemed like Tyler DeSilva was speaking to either Tyler Rich or somebody next to him. Like I said, there was only like two or three of our friends that were actually like not face to face, but close enough to speak to the defendant and Tyler DeSilva. But there were probably a couple words that were exchanged from what I can remember, yeah.
Was it argumentative?
Yes.
And can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you, just so we're clear, when you're coming down the driveway and you're sneaking past the Jeep in the blue truck, are you watching what's going on? Are you listening to what's going on?
So when I had probably been by the back door, driver's side back door of the truck, I had heard it get a little bit louder. And then as I was squeezing through, I wasn't necessarily looking. It was also, there were some people standing around, so I wasn't looking at what was going on, but what prompted me to move faster was I heard what had sounded like a punch hit someone's face, and I know what that sounds like, so, I instantly started to speed up and try to squeeze through that as quick as possible and get closer to what was going on.
And how do you know that you heard a punch? How do you know, how do you know it was a punch?
It sounded like somebody got cracked in the face. Like it was a hard punch. I had heard like a bunch of yelling and then a loud bang, and It wasn't like a car door bang or like a rock. I knew what it sounded like. At least to my knowledge, I thought it was a punch, and then from what I had seen after, it made sense.
So when you heard this punch happen, what, if anything, did you observe next?
So I instantly saw Tyler Rich and Da Silva wrestling. I guess that they were on the ground together. It looked like Da Silva was like on his knees, a little bit over Tyler Rich with like his shirt pulled up, but I know Tyler had some type of like grip on his like around his head or something. It looked, it was just really them two at that moment, but I had gotten closer to them with a couple other individuals, kind of just seeing what was going on. We weren't ready to break it up yet, but more so just observing. Like, we knew Tyler could handle something on his own, so we were just not getting involved yet.
So when this was going on, were there flashlights on? Was there light out there?
Yes, so individuals were holding their flashlights. I know that there were some videos taken. I, at the time, was attempting to take a video close up, and then right when I had finished, or I can't remember if I took the video fully or what had happened, but it was on Snapchat. And the issue with Snapchat is when you take a video, it doesn't save unless you choose to save it. So I was taking a video, and I had actually approached back to right where I had entered that grass area, so in between the truck and the Jeep. I had walked back after I took the video to show Taylor Capella and Lily Lombardi. And then within seconds of me pulling my phone out to show them, or actually I had my phone in my hand, so within seconds of me showing them, I had heard, "He's got a knife, he's got a knife." Which prompted me to be like, holy crap, he does. And I put my phone in my pocket, and the video had to have deleted, because when I pulled my phone out afterwards to actually look at my phone, because I was probably off it for an hour after it all happened, there was no video there. But in the moment, they had said, I had heard Charlie screaming, "He's got a knife, he's got a knife." So, I only had a second where I went to show them the video, and then I put my phone quickly in my pocket, turned back around, and kind of entered what was going on again.
So who's Lillian Lombardi?
At the time, she was like my ex-girlfriend, same grade as us, friends with Taylor Capella.
And just so we're clear, they were standing in this area here where there's like this cement. Thing.
Yeah, just about there, like on the Belgian blocks, or right in that area.
And why would you want to show Lillian Lombardi and Taylor Capella the potential video that you just took?
There was just like, I know they had, or at least Lily had like a previous interaction with Tyler, and at the time, I was still somewhat connected with her, so I, was like, look at this video of Tyler getting, in a fight. At least I was stupid, I was a kid, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but that was my intention, was to just show her. But then, that's what it took my attention off of what was going on for those seconds when I was turned away.
So you were unable to save the video that you took that night?
Correct.
And when you heard somebody yell, "He's got a knife, he's got a knife," you weren't watching the fight at that point?
No, so my back was turned. I was showing attempting to show the two girls the video, but it didn't even get within 5 seconds in when I heard Charlie yelling, "He's got a knife," and I had already seen the knife, and I was like, holy crap. I turned around and immediately rushed to the scene, which is when I saw, the first person I laid my eyes on was Tommy Connery, who was on the ground. He was grabbing his leg, and he was in pain. I saw people kind of huddling around him, realizing like what had just happened in real time, because I don't think everyone actually knew what was going on instantly, but I had seen him and there was blood. And then I quickly looked over to my right. I had saw Ryan Hines surrounded by Griffin and Tanner Chernowski. They were kind of lifting his shirt up, and I just vividly remember seeing Tommy on the ground, then turning my head, seeing Ryan Hines with his shirt being lifted up, and he said, "Fuck," and there was blood bubbling out of his wounds. And then I lifted my head back towards the road, where I saw Jimmy lift his shirt up, say, "I just got stabbed," collapse to the ground, where me, Nikki to Jesus, Sal Perry rushed over to him immediately and tried to cater to him.
And when you got up to Jimmy, what did you observe about Jimmy?
He was just losing color in his skin. He was turning white, and Sal and I, tried our best to apply light pressure to his wound, stop it from bleeding. We made Nicky grab his hand and tell him to squeeze it as tight as he could. Sal and I were holding Jimmy's head up so that he could try to keep consciousness. We were trying to talk to him, and there was just chaos going on. People were screaming. But from my view, where I was holding Jimmy's wound and holding his head up, I could see Tommy behind me. I was kind of situated in a way where I could pay attention to Jimmy, but also try to talk to Tommy. He was also a great friend of mine. I didn't want him to start freaking out or anything, so I was trying to keep him calm as best as I could as well.
In about 2 seconds, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 60. It's the video from 43 Laurel Glen. Have you seen this video before?
Yes, sir.
And do you know whether or not you saw this on Snapchat, or did you see it with the police, or when was the first time you saw it?
I saw it with the police first.
And I want you to watch it real quick and let me know if, well, we'll just watch it.
Yes, sir! Come on, let's go, nigga!
Now, the individual that says "Let's go," do you know who that was?
Yeah, that was Faison Teal.
Was it Faison or was it Tanner?
No, that was Faison.
So who's the one that says "Let's go"?
Tanner.
Oh, that's Tanner.
Who says, oh, no, Tanner says, yes, sir. Faison said
Let's go.
whatever afterwards.
Okay. And when you hear in the video, he's got a knife, that's when your back is turned to the fight?
Yes, but in moments I had turned around right away and returned.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 61. This individual right here with the white shirt, pink shorts with the phone out, do you know who that is?
That's me.
This individual right here in State 62, do you know who this is?
That's the defendant.
State 63, this individual with the green sweatshirt, black shorts with the white trim, do you know who that is?
Ryan Hines.
This guy right here with the white shirt and black shorts, do you know who that is?
Sal Perry.
This guy right here with the shirt off with the jeans on, do you know who that is?
Alex Bernstein.
This guy with the red hat, black shirt, and jeans on, do you know who that is?
Mike Samperi.
And the guy right here on his knees with the shirt pulled up, do you recall who that is?
Tyler De Silva.
State 64, this individual to the right here that comes into frame, do you know who that is?
Charles Connery.
Again, is that Charles Connery?
Yes, sir.
This is in State 65, excuse me. State 66, this guy right here with the white shirt and tan pants, do you know who that is?
Yeah, it's Jake Villalobos.
And this guy with no shirt on with the camouflage shorts, do you know who that is?
Matthew Lakovich.
This individual here with the to be a navy blue shirt, white shorts, do you know who that is?
Yeah, that's Jimmy McGrath.
This is State 67. This individual looks like he's bending over on pushing some type of pushing Tyler De Silva. Did you see that?
Yes, sir. That's Jake Villalobos.
68. This individual with the jeans on near the street. You know that.
Tyler De Silva.
And this person over here to the left of Tyler De Silva would be who?
The defendant.
And finally, State 69. Again, this person in the street. Do you know who that is?
Tyler De Silva.
And this person right here with his back towards us with white shorts on, you know who that is?
James McGrath.
Now, When you were helping Jimmy after he had been stabbed, did somebody call 911? Somebody call the authorities?
Yes.
Did you make any phone calls you recall?
No.
And at some point in time, did the police arrive?
Yes.
And when the police arrived, did you end up speaking to the police that night?
Yes.
And did you give them a statement about what you had recalled happened that night?
Yes.
And subsequent to the police interviewing you that night, were you interviewed on another occasion with the police department, if you can recall?
I remember giving a written statement. I think I gave also a audio statement to Detective Bango at the time. That's what I recall from happening that night.
You recall having any phone conversations with Detective Bango subsequent to this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And based on your conversations with the police, withdrawn. That night, who arrived first? Did the police department arrive to the scene, or did paramedics arrive to the scene?
Paramedics arrived first.
And when they arrived at the scene, did you witness what was going on with regards to the care that was being given to the people that were
Yeah.
injured? And can you describe what that was like to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
So I had only briefly looked before I couldn't bear to look anymore. But they arrived. Sal, Nikki, and I were basically with Jimmy as long as we possibly could have been. But they had started immediately giving him palpitations, or I think that's what it's called. They were just trying to alive him. I don't know the terms for it, but they were definitely putting in efforts. I didn't really see what they did with the other three individuals, Tommy, Faison, or Ryan, but I briefly just saw them, trying to do chest compressions on Jimmy, but I had to look away for that.
And why did you look away?
I couldn't fathom what had just happened.
And to the best of your recollection that night when you came out and witnessed the fight, do you recall seeing anybody with a weapon during the fight? During that fight?
No.
Do you recall seeing anybody get stabbed when you came outside?
No.
When you were down the street prior to speaking with the defendant, did you observe any of your friends engaged in any physical altercation with the defendant or any of the people from that car?
No, nothing was physical down the road. From anything that I saw, everyone was talking.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Attorney Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Field.
Good afternoon.
We've never met before.
No.
Never spoken about this case before.
No, sir.
We'll go over some of your testimony here and see if I've gotten things down. You told us that most of the folks at this party on this evening were friends of yours, correct?
Correct.
And most of them you'd known for quite some time, correct?
Correct.
Grew up with most of these folks, right?
Correct.
Did you know when you went over there that night that there weren't going to be any parents around?
No.
You didn't know that Tyler's mother would be in Cape Cod?
I had no idea.
Didn't know that his father wasn't going to be there?
Not a clue.
Were you expecting that there was going to be any parental supervision around while this drinking was happening?
I wasn't really thinking of that, but no, I didn't know that there weren't going to be any parents there.
Wasn't the first time that you'd been to Tyler Rich's house, you told us?
Yeah, it wasn't the first.
Was this the first time that you'd been drinking at Tyler Rich's house?
Well, I had drinks at Tyler Rich's house on other occasions, but I wasn't drinking at his house at this event.
But that was the standard sort of order of operations there. You'd go to Tyler Rich's house to party, hang out, and that included drinking, right?
I guess. Not really.
You only had one beer that night, right?
Yes, sir.
How can you be so sure that you only had that one beer?
Because at the time, I was an athlete. I had practice the next day. I was also At that specific time of my life, I was not really drinking much. I was more so the sober guy that was kind of mediating, looking after his friends. And I had the drink at Nikki's house before I even went to Tyler's.
Okay. You were 17 at the time?
Yes, sir.
You only had one drink at Nikki's house.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get that one drink?
I can't recall.
Did you buy it yourself?
No, sir.
Was it provided to you by somebody at Nikki's house?
I can't recall.
You rode with Nikki over to 43 Laurel Glen Drive?
And Jimmy, yes.
And how much alcohol did you have in the car with you?
I do not recall.
But there was alcohol in the car with you, right?
I don't know if there was alcohol in the car at all.
You didn't see either of those other occupants bring with them any alcohol?
I could not remember.
Well, this party was kind of a BYOB party, right?
Sure. I don't, there's no like rules. You just show up and hang out. It wasn't really like provided or you go buy it. You just show up. I don't.
Did your friends bring any alcohol in the car with them or not?
I do not recall.
You didn't see them with any?
No, sir.
Didn't see them get in the vehicle with any alcohol?
No, sir. I don't even know how I got there. I might have been Nikki's mom. I might have drove. I could not remember. It was 3 years ago.
You rode there with Mr. McGrath?
Yes, sir.
And you don't remember whether or not he was drinking?
I think he was drinking. I don't remember if it was in, I don't think it was in the car. I think he was drinking at the party.
Which party?
Tyler's house.
And was he drinking at Nikki's where you had the one beer?
I don't recall.
How much did he have to drink?
I don't know.
Did he seem like he was drunk?
No. No, actually, no, not at all.
Would you have let him drive?
No,
Why not?
because that's unsafe and illegal.
Why is it unsafe?
Objection, how's this relevant?
I'll sustain the objection.
Did you notice any indications that led you to believe that Mr. McGrath was drunk?
No,
And you didn't see him drink anything that night?
Objection, that's mischaracterizing his statement.
It's been asked and answered. I'm going to sustain for that reason.
How much did you see him drink that night?
I don't remember seeing him drink. I'm sure he had a couple drinks. I don't know what he drank or if he drank. He might have not drank for all I know. I have no idea.
And you arrived over at Tyler Rich's house somewhere between 9 and 9:15, right?
Yes, sir.
At that point, when you got there, you think there were 25 to 35 people?
Approximately.
And they were all down in the basement?
Yes, sir.
What was going on down in the basement?
Hanging out, music, people talking loud, people probably singing, your drinks out, socializing.
There were drinks out. What does that mean?
There were probably some empty beer cans on the table. I don't. That's what I mean by that.
Probably some empty beer cans on the table. That's it?
Yes, sir.
That was the extent of the drinking, was empty beer cans out on the table?
Yes, sir.
And you told us you knew Faison Teal from the football team, right?
Yes, sir.
As well as Ryan Hines, also from the football team.
Yes, sir.
A good friend of yours.
Yes, sir.
Tommy Connery, also a great friend, right?
Yes, sir.
But he was not on the football team?
No, sir.
Jimmy McGrath, you've described as an incredible friend, correct?
Yes, sir.
You took the photo of him that we saw that was earlier at Nicky DeJesus' house, right?
Yes, sir.
You thought maybe Sal Perry also went over with you that evening?
Yes, so we were together that day, but I don't remember if he had came to Nikki's house and then went to Tyler's with us or if he had just met us there. I can't remember.
But he was also a good friend, a year older.
Yes, sir.
And then you saw Michael Sampieri. He grew up with him in the same neighborhood.
Yes.
Correct. Did you play sports with him?
No.
Alex Bernstein. You said that was a friend of Tanner Chernowski's, right?
Yes, sir.
How did you know Tanner Chernowski?
We met at the Boys and Girls Club way back when, like probably I was in like, I might have been like 7 years old when I first met him. He was 2 years older than me, but I always hung out with kids my age, kids a grade below, kids a year above me, 2 years. So I was definitely familiar with Tanner by the time of this event occurred. Like very, very good friends with him.
Sal Perry, did you see him drinking that night?
I do not recall.
Michael Samperry, did you see him drinking that night?
I do not recall.
Alex Bernston, did you see him drinking that night?
I do not recall.
Charlie Connery, did you see him drinking that night?
No, sir, I didn't see him drinking.
You recall not seeing him drink,
Yes,
specifically.
yes.
The others you can't recall.
Actually, if this is allowed, I think Alex, I might be wrong about this, but I think Alex drove Tanner. I don't know for sure, but I know that Tanner was there, and I never really see Alex anywhere, but I know his car, I remember seeing his car there because he drove a nice car, so I think he wasn't drinking if he was driving, so that's all I can remember though.
Again, my question was a little different, sir. You say you specifically recall that you did not see Charlie Connery drinking, correct?
Yes, sir.
You don't recall whether or not any of those other folks I've asked you about were drinking, right?
Correct.
You said that Jacob Villalobos was a great friend, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you see him drinking that night?
I don't recall.
You said Michael Lockovich, also a great friend, correct?
Not Michael.
No,
Matthew.
okay. I'm sorry, Matthew Lockovich. Thank
Yes.
you for correcting me. Great friend.
Yes.
Did you see him drinking that night?
I don't recall.
Tyler Rich, did you see him drinking that night?
I also do not recall.
What about Griffin Marcinzik? Did you see him drinking that night?
I also have no idea. Don't recall.
You saw all these folks that night, correct?
Yes.
You just don't recall seeing any of them drink.
No, I'm not paying attention to people drinking. I could care less.
Okay. And at some point, you told us Ryan Hines and Griffin Marcinzik arrived, and you learned that they were coming from 5 Lazy Brook, correct?
Correct.
And they said that something had happened there. Is that fair to say?
I mean, a little more than something. They definitely gave me the rundown of what happened, yeah.
They told you that they had been jumped and attacked by 3 kids from St. Joe's, right?
Well, not they. More so just Ryan. Griffin was a small individual. I don't think he could have made a difference regardless. Not trying to be mean to him, but that's just the truth.
Okay. So you learned from them that Ryan had been jumped by 3 St. Joe's kids. Is that what they told you?
Yes, but I had actually been made aware of that before they even showed up, because either Ryan Hines or Griffin had made a call to let them know that something had happened, and for a place, they were looking for safety almost, if it was okay for them to go to Tyler's house. So somebody at Tyler's, might have been Tyler, I can't remember for certain, but that's who had made me aware that something had happened, and then when they had arrived, I spoke to them more deeply about it.
Word started to spread that friends of yours claimed to have been jumped at 5 Lazy Brook. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
People started talking about it, right?
Not necessarily. I think that there's most of the people actually at the party didn't really know. Just a small group actually that were more so closer, maybe like football friends of Hines, had found out.
And you told us you weren't part of the basketball group chat, right?
No, sir.
But you were aware that people were texting that night, correct?
No, sir.
And you think you were there for another hour or so before Ryan and Griffin arrived, right?
Yeah, just about.
And then within 5 to 10 minutes after they arrived, you're made aware that a car had shown up, right?
Correct.
You weren't surprised by that, though, given the fact that word had started to spread, correct?
No, I was very surprised because they were coming to us for safety, Ryan and Griffin, to not further get involved in anything. So a car being there was actually quite surprising.
You say they were coming to you for safety, correct?
To my knowledge, yes.
You weren't aware that Griffin Marcinzik was sending text messages with the address to 43 Laurel Glen Drive to anybody?
No, sir, I was not aware of that.
Did you stay near Griffin Marcinzik when he arrived?
I don't recall.
Did you stay near Ryan Hines after he arrived?
I think I spoke with him for a bit, but I wasn't like on his hip, so no.
So what they made you aware of was that they had been jumped, but they didn't tell you that they were live texting the address to the people they claimed to have jumped them.
No, I had no idea.
Okay. Because you weren't part of that group chat.
Correct.
And you said at some point, Tyler Rich rallied up a group of good friends, right?
Correct.
About 10 of you, you think?
Yeah.
And you went outside to confront the car that had shown up.
Yes, sir.
Now, you described to us that that vehicle, when it showed up, parked in the middle of the road, right?
Just about, yeah.
Right? Blocking the driveway, I think you described it as being, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't on the far side of the street across in front of the other house, right?
I mean, it could have been. I just remember it being almost parallel, like almost near the driveway, like if you just extended the driveway out. I don't remember if it was a little bit up, a little bit behind. I just know in the general area where the car was.
Blocking the driveway is your description, right?
I mean, it was in front of the driveway. It was,
If you wanted to get across the street to the house across the way, you would have to walk around this vehicle.
correct.
If you wanted to get out of the driveway, you would have to somehow navigate your way around this vehicle.
Correct.
And you went to confront this vehicle, right?
Yes.
And you said you knew this was the car from 5 Lazy Brook.
Well, as we were walking out, I think words were being said like, "Oh, that's them," or "These are the guys." So, but I didn't recognize the car whatsoever. I've never seen it before.
And you said you went to ask them why they were there.
Yes.
That's not all you went out to do, right?
Surely not. I mean, I went out there to kind of stick up for my buddy a little bit, but I wasn't planning on doing anything, nor did I.
Well, you said voices might have been raised, right?
Voices were raised.
Voices were raised,
Yeah.
right? And in fact, the car was surrounded, right?
I wouldn't say surrounded. A majority of the people were on the driver's side, just kind of in a group. I wouldn't say the car was fully surrounded at all, no.
And you told them either get out of the car, correct?
Are you going to finish?
I did. You said either get out of the car, correct,
I think so. I don't remember.
or leave, correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The first thing was, though, get out of the car, right?
Yes.
Why did you want them to get out of the car?
Well, because when I'm looking at the car seemed like it was a clown car packed full of people. So it kind of matched the amount of people that were there from our end. So at that point, I was like, our friend just got his face smashed in. I mean, get out of the car. We want, hey man, like you just beat up our friend, either get out of the car or be on your way. I wouldn't have cared at all if they left. I mean, I would have loved for them to leave. But that was our idea. Yes.
Well, you're telling us you would have loved for them to leave in the aftermath of things. However, at the time, you told them to get out because what you wanted was payback, right?
I wouldn't say payback, but at least to figure out what was going on, or at least a motive. I think most of the time we were asking them why they did it. Hey, why'd you beat up our boy? Nothing was said. So eventually we were like, all right, get out or leave.
You didn't know, you had no idea that they were coming, that address had been given
I had
to them.
no idea.
But when this unknown car parks outside, there's a rallying of at least 10 of you to go outside and confront the car.
I mean, I was told personally by Tyler, it wasn't like there was a reason for a certain amount of people there. He had just quietly said, hey man, there's a car outside my driveway, I don't know who it is, you want to come up and just figure it out with me, situate it. I was like, no problem, man. It's my best friend, I was going to go help him.
Jimmy McGrath went out with you?
I don't think so.
Are you sure of that?
I'm not sure, but I strongly don't think he was out there.
You stayed on the driver's side, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you see anybody go over to the passenger side?
Not that I remember, sir.
And you don't remember the vehicle being surrounded?
I know there was amount of people like on the driver's side, maybe
Just on
from
the
the
driver's
front to the back, but it wasn't like a circle blocking the car.
Okay. So just on the driver's side.
Yes, to my recollection, yes.
And you didn't have a conversation with anyone?
No, no direct words. I can't recall if I said like, "Hey, you guys should leave," but I never said I had a correct conversation with anybody in the car. No.
Could you see into the vehicle?
Yes.
Could you identify anybody inside the vehicle?
Yes. I recognized Tyler DeSilva. I'd also recognize your client. I want to say he was in the middle seat. I might be wrong, but I just definitely remembered seeing Tyler DeSilva and Lito, because those were the only two people I really knew in the car, from what I could see.
Did you know Mackenzie Trafficante?
Yes.
Did you see her in the car?
I didn't see her in the car.
You didn't see her sitting on Mr. Valle's lap?
Actually, you just refreshed my memory. She might have been, actually. I can't really remember. That was a long time ago.
You told us that you were just trying to usher them out, right?
Essentially.
And that you were asking them why'd they put their hands on your friends, right?
Correct.
And you told us before that voices might have been raised, but now you're telling us that voices were definitely raised.
When did I say before that they were raised? Or they might have been.
When you were talking with the state's attorney earlier, do you recall telling him that voices might have been raised?
Yeah,
In fact, they definitely were raised, right?
I think so.
You don't recall any physical interaction from the Shelton High kids with the car, correct?
I don't recall any type of physical.
You don't recall them laying hands on the vehicle, correct?
No, sir.
You don't recall them rocking the vehicle, correct?
No, sir.
You don't recall seeing anybody reach in and punch the driver, correct?
No, sir.
You don't recall seeing the window come down on the rear passenger side, correct?
I remember windows were like down or up. Like someone might have pulled the window down, put it back up, but I don't remember any type of physical altercation with the car.
You don't recall seeing a glass bottle be thrown at the car?
No, sir.
You don't recall seeing a glass bottle being thrown at the people that were standing beside the car?
I think something was thrown when the car drove away. Might have been that PB blaster can or a bottle.
Well, we'll get to the PB blaster can in a second. You identified, showing you State's Exhibit 30, that as being the vehicle that you saw that evening, correct?
Correct.
And you were standing on the driver's side, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this shattered windshield was not there at the time when you saw the vehicle, was it?
It could have been. I don't remember. I didn't look too closely into the windshield or like at the windshield at all. I wasn't even in the front of the car by any means.
Okay. And then without any physical interaction with the car, you say the car just sped off.
Yeah, like the pedal was floored.
So you didn't see Tyler Rich reach inside the driver's side of the car, correct?
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see his body halfway in while he was trying to do something with the gear shift, correct?
No, I don't remember that. Could have happened. I have no idea. I wasn't really paying attention to that, anybody specifically. I was more so just like, hey, you guys should leave or get out, either way. I wasn't really watching other people though.
Sir, you were like, hey, you guys should get out or just leave.
Well, no, I'm in a courtroom. If you want me to raise my voice, I can, but I'm
I'd
not.
like you to demonstrate for us how you said, hey, get out of the car or leave, guys.
Hey, you guys should probably leave or get out of the car. Is that good?
Like that?
Yes, sir.
That was it.
Yes, sir.
That was voices raised?
It was pretty loud. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then after that, the car just sped off.
Yes, sir.
And then you said most people from Tyler Rich's house went back into the house?
Yes.
But you glanced down and you saw car brake lights down the road, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was down towards the farmhouse lane end of things, right?
Correct.
And you don't recall the car driving up and down the road?
I didn't see the car driving up and down the road. I think it drove up and down the road afterwards.
Where were you standing when you glanced and saw the car brake lights down the road?
I want to say like just into the road from the end of the driveway. Like I stuck there's like some trees that hang over the road, so I had to like stick my head out, peer down there, but I wasn't in the middle of the road or anything.
You hadn't gone back into Tyler Rich's house, correct?
Not at this time. I hadn't yet, no.
And so you didn't see the car go speeding down towards Farmhouse, come back, make a right onto Adams, turn around, come back, and go back down to Farmhouse Lane, right?
I didn't see that. That might have happened. I didn't see it, no.
It might have happened while you were out on the street in front of 43 Laurel Glen Drive, but you didn't see it?
No, I just think the timeline might be a little bit mixed up, but I remember being made aware that the car was repeatedly driving up and down. I just think that the timeline that you're on is a little bit messed up from when it happened, but
You remember being made aware that that happened by who?
I don't remember. I just know that at some point people were like, this car is choosing to keep driving back. They could leave, but they keep driving back and forth. I don't
You didn't
remember.
go back in the house, correct?
No,
And you didn't see any of that, correct?
no.
But somebody told you that that happened.
After I went back in the house, after confronting the defendant, then I went back in the house. Then I was told that the car has been driving back and forth. Then I was told that, or I heard, they're back, they're back, they're back.
But you yourself never saw that car driving up and down that road.
Correct, I never saw it.
You look down, you see the car brake lights. You remember telling us that?
Yes, sir.
And then you walked with a group of 5 other people down towards that car in Farmhouse Lane, correct?
Yes, sir.
And
It wasn't, well, I'm sorry. It wasn't like a group. We weren't all in a group. Might have been 5 to 7. I don't remember. I just remember walking down with maybe 2 other guys next to me, but there was a couple others from our friend group that were walking down as well. We weren't in one pack, though.
that group included at least Charlie Connery, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ty Wood, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tyler Rich, correct?
Yes, sir.
Aiden King, correct?
Yes, sir.
Matthew Lokovich, correct?
Yes, sir.
And yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
Could have been others, correct?
I wouldn't say more than one person.
Could Ryan Hines have been there?
No.
Ryan Hines was not there.
Yes, sir.
You watched State's Exhibit 44, which is the video from the ring camera for 36 Laurel Glen Drive. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Can we see that one? I'm going to ask you to watch this, and I want you to see if you can identify for us who you are in this group, okay?
I don't think I'm in that group.
Let's just watch and see, and you can tell me,
Okay. Sure.
Do you see the video in front of us, and it appears to be that there are 2 people walking in front of a vehicle?
Yes.
Can you identify for us who those 2 people are?
No, sir. I have no idea.
Did you ever walk up and past those people?
No.
Can you continue playing? We're gonna keep watching. Can you pause again? Did you just hear that car door close?
Yes, sir.
Did you see somebody appear to get out of the front passenger side?
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
I don't remember where Tyler De Silva was sitting, but I want to say it was him. I don't know for sure, though.
Can you play again, please? You see somebody that appears to have in their hand a light of some sort? Just walked up in front.
You might have to rewind it. I don't.
I'm gonna point right here in front of the.
I can't see where you're
I'm
pointing.
gonna describe it for you. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns on the porch there?
Yes, sir.
You see just in front of that fourth column where there is a sort of light by the lawn there?
I don't see what you're talking about.
Keep your eyes focused on where I just directed them. I'm going to ask the state to play again and see if you see that light moving. See that light moving?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you pause that, please? Is that your light on your phone?
No, sir.
Because that's not you.
Yeah, that's not me.
How do you know that's not you?
I just know that I didn't walk that far, at all, up to the car that far.
You never walked that far.
Yeah, I never walked that far. I also am not one to just walk around with my phone out with the light on.
Can you watch the rest of that? In that video, would you agree we just saw a group of about 6 or 7 people following the folks who got out of that car?
Yes.
You're saying you weren't any of those people?
I don't think I was, just based off of what I had experienced when I spoke with the defendant, because I never really made it that far to the car. I only recall being about in the middle of the road, but I quickly turned and put the ring camera video back up. It would be to the left, almost out of the picture. And that's where I recall standing and speaking with the defendant and his girlfriend being there as well. I don't have any recollection of walking that far down to the road.
Can you use that? Do you still have the pointer over there somewhere? Do you see a pointer with a little red tip? Can you use that to show us where you think you were standing when you spoke with Mr. Valle?
Do you know which one 36 is? Is it this one?
I believe it's that one, sir. Do you know?
I mean, it would be a lot easier if the video was here. But
If you can.
there's no telephone poles in this picture, so I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Do you remember? Well, you see where the house is, 43 Laurel Glen, marked with the red marker,
I want to
correct?
say it was right about here because this looks like the bushes. I want to say that there's a telephone pole right here in this area. There's some shrubbery over here. So I want to say I was right about here. And I walked down, so right about here. Didn't engage with anyone in the car over here. Just kind of stayed over here and saw the defendant. Walked over, approached him, said what I said. That's it.
So, are you saying that what we saw in State's Exhibit 44, you never made it down that far, correct?
Correct.
You made it only as far as that bush that you've indicated there on Exhibit 1, is that fair?
Could have been like 5 steps ahead of it, but I never even came close to that intersection of Laurel Glen and Farmhouse. I never made it that far.
Never down to that intersection.
Never.
And it was by the bush that you believe you had this conversation with Mr. Valle, is that correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it wasn't really a conversation. It was very, very brief. I had just saw him. I don't know what really, struck me to actually go speak with him, but I think I was just trying to honestly calm the situation down because I did say to him, "Hey, look, I think it was messed up that he sprayed you." That's what I started it with, but it wasn't really a conversation.
And you said that you could see that the doors had opened on the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And that everybody just went down there in a non-aggressive way, right?
That's the way I went down there, and that's the way the group that I had went down there with. That's what we were planning on doing. Yes.
Would you describe what we saw there as being a non-aggressive way of those folks coming down to interact?
No, I think it was slightly aggressive.
Slightly aggressive?
Yeah.
You saw somebody launch a can of some sort at the vehicle?
Post of it being launched at us, yes, I did.
Did we see it being launched at you there?
No, sir.
And you saw somebody running at that vehicle, correct?
Correct.
Who was that?
I don't know. I might have to watch it. Maybe I could identify after watching it again. I don't know. It's kind of blurry.
Wasn't you, though.
No, sir.
And you said there was a PB blaster can, right?
I never saw the can, but from what I was made aware of, it was PB Blaster and or WD-40.
Who made you aware of a PB blaster can?
Well, at some point, before I spoke with the defendant, I was made aware that Tyler Rich had sprayed him with PB Blaster. And there was, that was basically it. He said, I just sprayed him with some PB Blaster. So I took it upon myself to go up to him and say, hey man, I'm sorry that he did that. That was kind of fucked up. But, there's a lot of guys here, etc.
And you were close enough to see Mr. Valle at that point, correct?
Correct.
And you could see that he had been sprayed in the face with the PB blaster?
No, surprisingly, he might have been. I wasn't necessarily looking at that, but I don't recall seeing any type of anything wrong with his face. Not saying that there wasn't. I don't remember.
And where, when you were talking at Mr. Valle, as you've described it, was Ms. Trafficante?
Almost like not even a foot away from him, sitting down to his left, to my right if I'm facing him. So to his left. He's standing facing this way. So he's standing over here, facing this way. I'm standing like this. Mackenzie's sitting down like this on the curb. Kind of like with her hands in her head, almost like distressed. That's what I remember.
And it's your recollection that they were both sitting on the opposite side of Laurel Glen Drive from 43?
Yes, sir.
Mackenzie as well as Mr. Valle?
Yes, sir. Well, Raul was standing. She was sitting.
And where was Mr. De Silva?
I want to say he was somewhere, if I was here, somewhere over here, in a group. I think some of my friends were over there talking with him, but there was nothing aggressive going on because we would have heard it. It seemed like they were just kind of talking over stuff, or maybe they weren't talking. I just know there was a group in this area. And I want to say De Silva was part of that group.
And where was the Honda Pilot?
Somewhere around here. I don't know for sure.
This was after we saw the Honda Pilot drove away?
Yeah, my interaction with the defendant was after the video.
Okay. And it's your recollection that while you were talking with Mr. De Silva on the opposite side of the street, Ms. Trafficante was sitting on the curb a foot away from him.
Yeah.
And Mr. De Silva was on the opposite side of the street with a group of your friends.
Yeah, I think some of his friends were there too. Yeah, he was across the street though.
And where was the Honda Pilot?
I don't know exactly, but I want to say it was somewhere over here because where me, your client, and his girlfriend was separated from the rest. And I just remember turning around, Charlie Connery was walking up towards us almost. So right when I turned around, he met me almost, and then we just walked back.
You don't know where the Honda Pilot was, right?
No, sir. I think it was over there, but I don't know for sure.
You said you intended to take Mr. Valle's side at this time?
What I mean by that is, what I was made aware of was that he was sprayed. And in the moment, I sure as hell was not looking to fight anybody, regardless of what had just happened to my friend. At this point, there was a lot of just chaos going on. There was loudness outside of houses. I was honestly just trying to look out for Tyler, get everybody that wasn't invited out of the house, or not out of the house, out of the area. At least what I thought was if I start if I start what I was saying to the defendant with something that he just had happen to him, and like kind of me being like, hey man, listen, I feel bad, he shouldn't have got sprayed like that. Whatever I had said, I had felt that would be the smartest way for him to at least give me his attention. Because if I approached him in an aggressive way, probably would have went differently. So I approached him and said, hey man, listen, it's fucked up that you got sprayed, but you guys should probably leave here. There's a lot of people over there. There's a smaller group of your friends. I don't want to fight. I don't think it's worth it. I remember saying I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth a fight. And then he wasn't really paying attention, or not really like listening or caring. So he was just like, yeah. and I saw the knife in his hand while I was talking to him. And then I turned around and walked back to the house with
So
Charlie.
You'd had a change of heart at that point. It was no longer get out of the car so we can fight and get payback. Now it was you were trying to be his friend.
I wouldn't say friend. I was just trying to, overall, it had been going on for, in my opinion, too long at this point. For all we know, a cop could have drove down the driveway, or drove down the road, and we all would have been in trouble. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? Let's just end this.
Cop could have rolled down the street at that point and up the driveway, and y'all would have been in trouble.
Not
for what?
up the driveway. I said down the street because there's a group of people standing around outside. What do you think a cop would do if he drove by? So in my head, I'm like, let's get everybody out of here. There's no point in fighting. There's no point in arguing outside of someone's house when someone could easily pick up the phone and call a noise complaint. So I said, let me say what I have to say to him. Hopefully this gets through. They'll get in the car and leave, and we'll be on with our night. That was my plan.
You were worried that the cops might show up and there'd be bigger problems for everybody, right?
Not initially, like I said. More so after this has been getting dragged on for a while, I was like, all right, this is kind of stupid. I didn't care at that point to say anything like get out. I was more so like, hey, let's just end this. It's not worth it.
And you said that you saw Mr. Valle holding a knife in his left hand, right?
Correct.
And you described that knife to the police as being a switchblade, right?
Of some sort. I didn't know if it was or not. That was just kind of what I had saw in the moment, or what I thought I saw at least.
And it was a stiletto style knife, right?
I didn't use that word. They might have interpreted it that way, or said, or thought that, or said, oh, do you think it was a stiletto? I don't even know what that is. So, but what I just remember was seeing his hand down, zero handle in his hand. I only saw a blade just coming out like this big. That was it.
What color was the blade?
I don't recall.
Serrated?
I don't know what that means.
Did it appear to have little teeth on it like a steak knife?
I don't recall.
Do you recall anything about the shape of the blade that you saw?
Yeah, I just recall it being like a knife that comes to a point. It wasn't like a hunting knife like that. That was like a thicker. I don't recall too exactly if there were teeth like you're saying, but I just know that it started wider and got thinner, and it was longer, like 3 inches or so.
Now, you also told officers that you saw him waving that out the window, right?
I don't.
That you saw Leo flashing a knife outside the window of the car?
No, I don't recall saying that.
And that the knife was a switchblade?
No, I said. I mean, it could have been. I just remember the knife. If at the time I was trying to describe it as best as I could, if that's the words I used, then that's what I said. But
Right. And so when you claim to have seen this knife in Mr. Valle's hand when you were down talking to him by the bushes, you didn't yell out to everybody, hey, he's got a knife.
No, I thought that would probably be stupid and just a waste of time. In my opinion, the best thing to do is not at all acknowledge it, because I didn't want to put myself at harm, and I didn't want to anger the defendant if he was angry already for being sprayed. Whatever it was, I just wanted to end it. I wanted it to be over.
And you're certain that when you're having this interaction with him that you were not near the pilot at that time, correct?
Yes, sir. Not directly near it. It could have been a little bit off in the distance.
And you weren't near any of your other friends at that point, correct?
No, yeah, not too close to anybody. When I turned around, Charlie was approaching, but to my knowledge, nobody was right with me. It was more so just me, the defendant, and his girlfriend.
And then you saw Charlie, and you decided to walk back with Charlie, right?
Yes, sir.
Back to Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
You got back to the house, and Tyler Rich was trying to corral people, you said, back into the basement.
Yep.
And ultimately, he was successful in getting everybody back into the basement.
I think he got almost everybody. I want to say maybe himself or a couple of the older people that were there were just staying outside to make sure nothing else had brewed. But The older folks that were there were the farthest thing from people looking for trouble. They were more so just kind of overseeing everything. I think he got everybody in except for maybe 5 people that were just kind of outside the Belco doors making sure everything was okay.
Okay. And you were down there maybe 1 to 5 minutes when you heard somebody say they're back, correct?
Yes.
And then,
I'm sorry, is this a good time to take a break? It's about 25
yes, it's fine.
Okay, all right, we're going to go ahead and take our afternoon break. You'll have a 15-minute recess. We'll be in recess until 10 minutes to 4. Thank you.
Last 14 seconds. We got it wrong in the report. Do I leave or?
Yeah, you're free to leave for this. Yeah, you just have to come.
Okay.
The Honorable Judge Murphy presiding. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, thank you. Thank you. All right, so if the state could direct their witness to retake the stand. I just want to remind you that you do remain under the obligations of your oath when you first entered the stand. You can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. Attorney Smith, are you ready to proceed?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, you can come up if you'd like.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk will bring the jury. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Counsel, please stipulate to the return of our turns.
Say we'll stipulate, Your Honor.
Thank
That's
you.
the case, Your Honor.
All right, Attorney Smith, you may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Fiola, we were just talking about being back in the basement, and you heard somebody say they're back, right?
Yes, sir.
And how many people were in the basement at that point?
Most of the individuals that were there, I don't know an exact number.
25 to 35, as you
Yes.
estimated before? And you told us that you went back outside to do the right thing, right?
Yes.
And you told us that when you went back outside, you went in front of the blue truck. I'm trying to find that photograph for you. Do you recall telling us that you went in front of the blue truck?
No, I went actually on the driver's side, which is away from where the interaction was going on, and had to maneuver in between the back of the blue truck and the front of the Jeep.
You are looking at State's Exhibit 5. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
So you were originally in front of the blue truck and you had to come around on the driver's side and maneuver in between the blue truck and the white and black Jeep, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's because your path was blocked coming through the way you had gone the first time, right?
Wait, what do you mean the first time?
Well, when you first came out, you described you had come through and gone sort of down where I think you described the Belgian blocks when you come out the first time?
No. You mean when we approached the car that was like, so no, I walked out and walked down the middle of the driveway when we approached the car. That's what I told the state's attorney. And when I walked out, after I had gone back in, and then they said they're back, and we walked out. I walked out of the Belco doors. I had glanced through this little, where your finger's hovering, through that little hole, saw that there were the defendant and Tyler Silva basically had just kind of stopped walking, or it looked like they had just gotten onto the yard. I walked on the opposite side of the truck where we could see it, so the driver's side, and squeezed through at the bed of the truck and at the front of the Jeep.
Okay. And those cars, as they're parked in that exhibit there, that's the same way they were that night, correct?
Yes.
And so you walked in between those.
No worries.
And when you emerged, you could see more than just Mr. De Silva and Mr. Valle in the yard, correct?
What do you mean?
Well, there were other people in the yard, right?
Yes.
And you could see other people in the yard, correct?
Yes.
How many people were in the yard?
Probably 15, 20.
Of those 15 to 20, only 2 were not from the Shelton High party, correct?
Correct.
Nobody else got out of the vehicle, correct?
Well, I didn't see a vehicle at this point. I just saw the 2 individuals. From what I remember, the vehicle actually drove up kind of as the fight was going. But I could be wrong. I just don't remember seeing a vehicle. I just remember seeing the 2 individuals.
But now you're telling us that you recall that the vehicle drove up as the fight was going on?
Could have happened. I just didn't really pay attention to the road. I was more so paying attention to the actual, what was going on in the yard.
And you described for us what you saw. Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva were close to one another, correct?
From what I can remember, yes.
And they were to the left of the red bush?
Yes. Like in the spacious area, yeah.
And you recall that Tyler De Silva was speaking to Tyler Rich, correct?
Yes.
And what do you recall Mr. Valle was doing at that point?
I don't recall. I think he was just kind of there backing him up. He might have said a couple words, I don't remember.
And you said you heard it get louder as you squeezed through between those cars, right?
Right, so when I was walking right about the bed of the truck is when I heard it start to get louder, like right as I got in the middle of the bed, and I'm talking on the driver's side still. So when I was still on the driver's side walking, I heard it get a little louder, and then as I was squeezing through is when I heard the punching sound.
You heard someone get punched in the face, right?
Yes.
You described that as being a hard punch, right?
Yes.
A loud bang, right?
Yes.
Not a rock.
Not a rock.
That's how you described it. It wasn't a rock.
Yes.
And you said you know what that sounds like as far as a hard punch, right?
I mean, I assumed it was a punch from previous either movies or whatever. I mean, I know what a punch sounds like.
So you know what a punch sounds like, and you heard that hard punch, and that was somebody getting punched in the face, correct?
Correct.
And that was Mr. Valle getting punched in the face, wasn't it?
I don't recall who it was at all that got punched, but I know there was a punching sound, and that's kind of when it all started.
As you emerged from between the two vehicles after this punching sound, did you already have your phone out?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so as you emerged, you could see that Tyler Rich and Tyler De Silva were down on the ground, correct?
Yes.
And you could see that Tyler De Silva was on his knees and he had his shirt sort of pulled up over his head, sort of hockey style, right?
Yes.
And you said you weren't trying to break him up at that point, you just wanted to see what was going on, right?
Yeah.
You thought Tyler Rich could handle himself, right?
Yes.
And at some point, you would agree, you pulled out your phone, you turned it on, and you started filming what was going on, right?
Yes.
You were doing that as a Snapchat or as something that was on your camera? How were you? What were
No,
you using?
so I just had Snapchat, and when you open the app, it's got like a big circle for you to video stuff or take a picture. It's like the main screen when you click on it. Like still to this day, if you click on the app, it just brings up that picture where you can take a video. So I had my phone out. You could see the flash was on, so I was trying to get what was happening on video to show the two individuals back by the Belgian blocks like I had mentioned before.
Right, the two girls. You were going to show them this video, right?
Yeah.
In fact, you said you were going to show them the video because they had had some sort of previous interaction, and you wanted to show them and say, "Look at this video of Tyler getting what?"
Tyler just in a tussle with Tyler Rich. I didn't know if they could see it from their view because there were some people outside. So I just, again, I was 17, probably shouldn't have videoed it. Wasn't really that funny, but in the moment, I thought it was funny, or not really funny, but I just thought it was something that I could show them, so I did. But it was definitely not the smartest choice.
You were taking a video of somebody getting attacked, and you were going to show that to some girls. Is that true?
I wouldn't say anyone was being attacked. I think it was pretty mutual. There was a tussle going on the floor. You see Tyler De Silva's shirt pulled up, but Tyler Rich is also under him. And there was definitely something going on. But I wouldn't say it was doing it because I thought it was funny of somebody being attacked. Like you just said, no, that wasn't the reason.
Well, you told us you thought it was funny at the time, right?
I thought it was something that would be worth showing the girls, yes. I was also 17, so I'm not the same person. I probably would definitely not take a video if I was in that situation again.
At the time, you took the video because you thought it was amusing and you wanted to show these two girls.
Again, not amusing. I just thought it was something that was worth showing them because of the previous interaction, like you just said.
Because of the previous interaction that one of the girls had had with Tyler DeSilva, you believed.
Correct.
And that interaction you thought would make it so that she would want to see Tyler DeSilva getting attacked by Alec Bernston, Tyler Rich, Sal Perry, Michael Samperi. That's what you were filming, right?
I'm gonna check based on what the individual would have wanted to see. I think that was the form of the question.
I'll sustain the objection.
You told us that you thought Lily would want to see this video, correct?
I didn't know if she would want to. I just was showing it to her and her friend.
You told us you understood that Lily had had some sort of previous interaction with Tyler DeSilva, correct?
Correct.
And that based on your understanding of that previous interaction with Tyler DeSilva, you wanted to show her this video, correct?
Correct.
And you said, look at this video of Tyler getting, and then you trailed off. And it was Tyler getting what?
When did I say, look at this video of Tyler getting? So I was just saying, look at this
giving
video.
that answer to the state's attorney when you were asked on direct about this video?
I don't recall, but I do recall saying, hey, look at this video. If I said, look at this video of a fight, look at this video of Tyler, look at this video of Tyler and Tyler. I have no idea what I said exactly, but I know that I went and showed them the video, which is what took my attention for a split second off of the fight.
Because that video was like a trophy, right?
I have plenty of trophies. I don't need any video trophies. I don't know what that even means.
Well, you were preserving to share with somebody else what was going on when Tyler was being attacked, right?
Not attacked, and I wasn't preserving it because if I really cared to preserve it, I would have instantly saved the video, which you have to do on Snapchat, which it probably would have been more evidence for this case if I had saved it. So I actually think about it quite often. I wish I saved it, but I didn't.
You didn't save it, right?
No.
Because you weren't taking it to save it to show it to the police, were you?
No.
That wasn't the kind of video that you would want to share with the police, was it?
No, I would love to have shared it with them after what had happened, but in the instance, no, I wasn't thinking of the police at all.
Well, you were thinking about the police before, you told us, because you didn't want them to come rolling up and everybody get in trouble. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you didn't want to show them this video for the same reasons, correct? This video would show your friends involved in a fight, right?
No, because there was nothing too bad in the video, and like I said, the video was deleted. If I had had the video, I would have showed them. But the video was instantly deleted when I heard my friend screaming, he's got a knife. So I put my phone down in my pocket, and on Snapchat, when there's a swiping down motion and the video was never saved, it deletes it for good. And that's what had happened, because an hour later when I pulled my phone out, there was no video.
You were just unable to save the video and you inadvertently deleted it. Is that your testimony?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
You said you were 5 seconds into the video showing it to the girls, correct?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
So you could have saved it, but you didn't. You were showing it to somebody.
Yeah, I was showing it. Then I heard somebody screaming that an individual has a knife, which takes priority over anything.
And you watched some of the video that was taken by Tanner Chernowski, correct?
Yes.
And you said you thought that that was Faison Teal saying, let's go in the video?
I'm sorry, can you rephrase that? I don't know what you mean.
Do you recall telling the state's attorney when he asked you who said, let's go, that you thought that was Faison Teal?
I just know that Tanner said, yes, sir, in the beginning. That's Tanner's voice. And I am strongly in belief that Faison was who said whatever was said afterwards. Yes.
All right, and then we went through a series of still shots from that same video. I'm gonna show you some of those. This is Exhibit 61. Do you recall seeing that before?
Yes, sir.
And you identified yourself right here looking at the camera wearing pink shorts and a white shirt with your camera out, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then, who did you say this person was beside you?
Sal Perry, I think.
And who's this?
State's attorney used this photo to identify whoever that person was because I can't really tell.
You can't tell who that person is.
No.
Can you tell who this person is?
No, it looks like a white blur. I can't see anything outside of me and Sal.
Then you were shown this still shot, correct?
Correct.
You identified this
I'm
as
sorry,
not-
Attorney Smith, what exhibit is that?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
That's okay.
That is Exhibit 63,
Thank you.
State's Exhibit 63. You identified this person as Ryan Hines, correct?
Yes, sir.
Who's this person?
Sal Perry?
Sal Perry is in front of Ryan Hines.
Yes.
You identified this person in front of Sal Perry as being Alex Bernstein, correct?
Yes, sir.
You identified this person in a black shirt that's in front of him wearing a red hat as being Michael St. Perry, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you see a person in a white shirt over towards the right-hand side of this that I'm pointing to?
Yeah, I see.
Do you know who that is?
I can't make out who that is, sir.
You were also shown State's Exhibit 65. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
You identified this person in the foreground wearing the white shirt and the black shorts as being Charlie Connery.
Yes.
Can you identify this person walking behind him wearing a gray shirt and black shorts?
Yeah, it looks like Joey Romano.
Joey Romano?
Yes.
How do you know Joey Romano?
He's quite a bit older than me. I want to say 3 grades older than me. So only 2 grades older than Tyler. I know him through other people. I think I played sports with him back in the day when I was in like Little League baseball, but no real serious relationship with him.
So he was considerably older than you.
Yeah.
You spoke to police that night twice, correct?
Yes, sir.
You gave them a statement at 1 in the morning and then a statement again to Detective Bango at 2 in the morning, correct?
Yes, sir.
You did not see a weapon or the stabbing during the fight, correct?
Yeah, I didn't see it in the fight. Yes, sir.
You claim that the only time you saw what you described as a switchblade with a long, pointed blade was when you were down speaking with Mr. Valle around the bushes by 36 Laurel Glen Drive, correct?
The only time I saw a weapon in the form of a 3-inch blade, I don't know if it had grooves, I don't know if it was a switchblade, but whatever weapon I saw in his hand, yes, that's the only time I saw it.
And you believe that the police arrived after the paramedics, correct?
That's what I believe, yes.
That's your testimony now that you don't recall telling Detective Bango that you heard people say that Mr. Valle was flashing a knife outside the car window.
So, question, because you said to me that I said that he was flashing it, and now you're saying to me that I said I heard people say that. So maybe if I heard people say that, that's what I said. I never said that he was flashing it outside the car window. I don't recall ever saying that. If other people said that to me, and that's what I said on the statement, maybe I said that. But I definitely don't recall seeing him flashing anything outside of the one time I saw it from our interaction.
Well, you do recall telling us that the reason that you went out there was to do the right thing, right?
Went out where?
Out into the front yard when the car came back.
Yes.
And in your mind, doing the right thing was filming this fight so that you could show it to Lily and another girl, correct?
So in the moment of being in the basement, the right thing was go outside because I'm not going to sit in the basement when a bunch of my friends are outside dealing with something, whatever that may be. I also was in a very tight friend group, Tyler Rich being one of them, so I wanted to be present. God forbid anything happened, which it did. So in my eyes, I was still doing the right thing by being out there.
You consider yourself a protector of your friends?
No, I just consider myself a friend of my friends.
You wouldn't want to see your friends get into any trouble?
Who would? No, I wouldn't.
And you didn't tell the cops about filming this and showing it to these girls, did you?
I don't think I even remembered exactly filming it until I had watched that video and pointed myself out and was like, oh my God, that's me, I think. But when I spoke with the cops directly, it had nothing to do with being afraid to show the cops. I just don't think I remembered to bring that up. It wasn't really that important at the time.
You weren't going to tell them unless they asked you about it?
No, I don't recall. I don't know if I was planning on telling them or not.
Or you weren't going to tell them at all?
I don't recall.
Nothing further, thank you.
Mr. Fiola, did you intentionally delete that video that you were taking that night on 40?
No, sir. No, sir.
Had you saved that video, would you have given it to the police?
1,000%.
No further questions.
Anything on that limited redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You can exit the witness box. You're all set. Thank you. Please watch your step as you exit. Okay. Thank you. Does the state have any additional witnesses for today?
We do, Your Honor. We call Faison Teal.
Okay.
Can we approach?
Certainly, yes. You can come on in. Thank you. You can come right up to the witness stand here. Sir, step into the witness box and remain standing. Madam Clerk's going to put you under oath, okay? Thank you.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, or not guilty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. Please state your full name, spell your last name.
Faison Brewington Teal, FAISON BREWINGTONTELE.
Please state your address.
My address, 82 Ripley Road, Shelton, Connecticut.
All right, sir, you may be seated. Thank you.
Good afternoon, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good. You nervous?
A little bit.
Faison, how old are you?
I'm 20 years of age.
Do you go to school?
Yes, I do.
Where do you go to school?
I'm a fourth-year student at the University of New Haven.
And have we met before today?
Yes, we have.
Why did we meet?
We met regarding the incident that occurred on May 14th, 2022.
And how many times have we met? A couple times?
A couple times, yeah.
I want to direct your attention to May 14th of 2022. How old were you back then?
I was 17 years of age.
And were you in school?
Yeah, I was.
Where were you in school?
Shelton High School.
And did you play any sports?
Yes, I did.
What sports did you play?
I played football.
And I want to direct your attention to that day.
Yes.
Was there an occasion where you went to a house located at 44 Pawtucket Ave?
Yes, there was.
All right, tell us why you went to that house.
So I was at my friend Rodrigo Crespo's house for my friend Antonio Capamola's surprise birthday party.
And how long were you there for?
I was there for maybe like an hour.
And do you recall what time you got there?
I got there around 9 p.m.
And so you were there from between 9 and 10 p.m.?
Yes.
And at some point in time, did you leave there?
Yes, I did.
Why did you leave?
I left to go to Tyler Rich's house because Roddy's party was done at the house.
And why did you go to Tyler Rich's house?
It's a regular thing to do. He texted us to come there.
So you went there?
Yeah.
How did you go over there?
I was with my friend Jeremy Yoko. He was driving.
When you were at 44 Pawtucket Avenue, what kind of party was that other than a surprise party? Were you guys hanging out?
Yeah, hanging out, high school party.
When you say high school party, did you have any alcohol to drink at this high school party?
Yes, I did.
And what were you drinking?
I was drinking beer.
And how many beers would you say you had?
I had about like 2.
And when you left, when Jeremy Oko brought you to Tyler Rich's house, so I'm going to show you this exhibit real quick. Exhibit 5. You know whose house that is?
Yes, I do.
Whose house is that?
That's Tyler Rich's house.
And that's the house you went to that night?
Yes, sir.
And when you went over to Tyler Rich's house on May 14th of 2022, did you bring any alcohol with you?
No, I don't believe so.
When you got there, at Tyler Rich's house, did you go right in the house when you got there?
Yeah, I went right into the house.
And was it just you and Jeremy Oko in the car?
It was me, Jeremy Oko, Jacob Villalobos, Matthew Moore Sanchez, and Aida Aul.
And when you got there, you said, where did you say you walked in the house?
No, I walked in like through the backyard.
Okay. What side? You're looking at this exhibit?
Yeah.
To the right.
To the right, like kind of, well, not to the right, like straight, and then like around the house to the right.
So I'll point to this area here.
Yeah.
Okay, in front of the blue pickup truck where it's open, you can kind of see like
Yeah, like a little opening. Yeah.
Is that where you went in?
Yeah, I went around and through the back.
All right, and what kind of entrances over there?
Oh, there's an entrance to the basement.
Okay. And you walked down into the basement?
Yeah.
Now, when you got to the basement, what kind of things were going on in the basement?
People just chilling.
All right, when you say chilling, what does that mean? The jury doesn't know. You gotta explain that.
Just like hanging out, drinking a little bit, I guess, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. And there was alcohol being consumed?
Yes.
And when you got there, did you have any alcohol yourself?
Yes.
And what were you drinking?
2 Bud Lights.
And outside of the 2 Bud Lights, did you have anything else to drink that night?
No, sir.
So you had 2 at 44 Pawtucket, 2 at Tyler Rich's house.
Yes, sir.
And you got there at about 10 p.m.
Yeah, like around like 10:15.
What kind of night was it? Was it dark? Was it pitch black?
It was a regular night, like dark a little bit.
When you were outside before you got into Tyler Rich's house, could you see inside? Can you see outside and notice?
Yeah.
Was there anybody outside when you got to Tyler Rich's
When I
house?
got to Tyler Rich's, no.
And how do you know Tyler Rich?
He's a really good friend of mine. I met him when I first came to Shelton. Always been close with him, played football with him. He really brought me around everyone. Picked me up for school every day. Yeah.
Okay. You know, this is State's Exhibit 54. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who is that?
That's me.
State's Exhibit 56. Do you know who this is?
Yes.
Who is that?
That's Ryan Hines.
And how do you know Ryan Hines?
I played football with him. He was 2 years under me.
Younger than you?
Yeah.
State's Exhibit 55. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who is that?
That's Tommy Comrie.
How do you know Tommy?
Tommy, always friends with him. Met him through high school.
State's 57. Do you know who that is? State's 57.
Yes.
Who's that?
Jimmy McGrath.
Do you know Jimmy McGrath?
Yes, I did.
How do you know Jimmy?
I was friends with him.
Now, on May 14th of 22, were these individuals at Tyler Rich's house at the time?
Yes, they were.
Do you know Ricky Fiola?
Yes, I do.
Was he present at Tyler Rich's house?
Yes, he was.
How about Sal Perry? Was he there?
Yes.
What about Mike Samperi?
Yes.
What about Charlie Connery? Was he there?
Yes.
And how about Jake Villalobos?
Yes, he was there.
He was there because you went there with him, right?
Yeah.
And how about Matt Lockovich? You know Matt Lockovich?
Yes, I know Matthew
And
Locke.
was he present at Tyler Rich's house?
Yes, he was.
All right. Now, when you got to, if I may have, when you got to when you got to 43 Laurel Glen, what were you wearing that night? Do you
Me,
recall?
I was wearing a rubber ducky marble t-shirt.
Show
recognize State's Exhibit 23?
Yes, I do.
What is this exhibit?
That's the shirt I was wearing that night.
When you got there, you were chilling out with your friends in the basement. How long would you say you were there for?
Like in the basement?
Yeah.
Probably like 15, 20 minutes, give or take.
After about 15 or 20 minutes, did withdrawn. You're familiar with Griffin Marcinzik?
Yes, I am.
How are you familiar with him?
He played football with me.
And after about 15 or 20 minutes, did Ryan Hines and Griffin Marcinzik show up at Tyler Rich's house?
Yes, they did.
And when they showed up at Tyler Rich's house, did you speak with them?
Briefly, yes.
And in speaking with them, not with what they said, but when you spoke to them, were you informed about an incident that occurred prior to Tyler Rich's house over at Lazy Brook Road?
Yes, I was.
And were you aware of what had happened over on Lazy Brook Road with regards to Ryan Hines prior to Ryan and Griffin arriving at Tyler Rich's house?
No, I wasn't.
So you were informed when you got there that something had happened at Lazy Brook by them?
Yes.
Were you aware, based on that conversation, who that involved?
No, I wasn't aware yet on who it involved.
And after you spoke with them, we withdrawn. Prior to speaking with Ryan and Griffin, were you aware of any group chat messaging that was going on in relation to that incident that happened on Lazy Brook Road?
No, I wasn't.
After speaking with Ryan and Griffin, were you made aware that there was a group chat messaging that was happening with regards to that?
No, I wasn't.
At any point during your interaction with anybody at Tyler Rich's house, were you aware of this group messaging that was going on?
Yes.
Okay, when did you become aware of it?
I would say, I believe it was Tanner who was talking about it.
And at some point in time, withdrawn, when Tanner informed you that this group messaging was going on, did that happen before or after individuals showed up to the house?
This was before. Wait. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, let me ask you this way. At some point in time, did individuals that were not invited to Tyler Rich's house show up to Tyler Rich's house?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you made aware of this group chat before that happened or after that happened?
Before that happened.
How long before?
Maybe about like 5 minutes, give or take.
Okay, and when those individuals showed up to to Tyler Rich's house, how were you made aware that they showed up to the house?
So someone, I do not recall who said, but someone said people were like pulling up the ties. And obviously I don't know who they was talking about. But
And when they said that, what, if anything, did you do as a result of that?
well, I also was told that they had McDonald's. So, you know, me, I'm a big kid, so I was hungry. So
So you were made aware that they had McDonald's and you were hungry?
yeah.
So at some point in time, did you exit Tyler Rich's house?
Yes, I did.
And when you exited Tyler Rich's house, how did you leave the house?
I left through the back, and then next to that AC unit came out towards the front area.
So you exited where the Vilco doors were? You exited through the Vilco doors?
Yes.
Again, if we're all on the same page here, State's Exhibit 5. You exited this area here?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm pointing to the area it looks like a circle clearing in front of the blue pickup truck and what appears to be, looks like a mulch pile right there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you exited that area, did you walk down, how did you walk? Down the driveway? How did you walk towards the car?
Like through the grass.
What's that?
Like through the grass. Like, well, through the driveway first, and then like across.
I'm gonna show you State's Exhibit 49. When the car arrived at Tyler Rich's house, are you able to describe to the jury, using State's Exhibit 49, where you observed the car at that moment?
Yes.
Where was it?
It was across the street.
Okay. When you say across the street, can you describe where across the street?
It was on the right, well, yeah. It was on the right-hand side. And it was,
Okay. Are we,
well, yeah, yes.
can you use some of the, it was on the right side of the street here?
Yeah, this side of the street over here. Oh, my bad, I forgot. Yeah, it's on the right side of the street, sorry.
So, let me know if I'm correct. I'm pointing right here
just to the area left of these bushes on the bottom of 49 on the right side of the road of Laurel Glen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mark, can the record reflect that that's where I'm pointing?
Yes.
The left of those trees on the bottom of Laurel Glen, States 49.
Quarter left of Uncle Rita.
So when you noticed the car, was it parked on the side of the road? Was it middle of the road?
It was more like it was like in the road, like near the side. It wasn't like exactly all the way over though.
Okay. And so this is a picture of Tyler's house. Are you aware that the road this road right here on the lower left-hand portion of 49, that's Adams Drive?
Yes.
And do you know this road up here on the other side of Laurel Glen? You know?
I do not recall.
Okay. When the car arrived, was the car facing that way, or in other words, facing, I guess, upward in this picture, or facing towards Adams, if you can recall?
I do not recall.
All right, and when you went out of the house to approach the car, were you with anyone?
Yes, I was.
Who were you with?
It was me, Tyler Rich. I do not recall who else was with us.
How many people would you say were with you at the time?
Like around 5 to 7 people
Okay.
out there.
At some point in time, did more people come outside?
Yes.
Did you approach this vehicle at all?
Yes,
What
yes,
kind
I
of
did.
car? Do you remember what kind of car it was?
It was like a black SUV.
Showing you States 30. Does that look like the vehicle that you saw that night?
Yes, it does.
And when you approached the vehicle, do you remember what side of the car you approached?
Yes.
What side?
Driver's side.
And when you approached the driver's side, how close to the car did you get when you went up to the car?
Pretty close.
When you say pretty close,
Like I was right next to the car.
so like a foot or two?
Yeah, like a foot or two, yes.
And based on the lighting that night, were you able to see inside the car?
Yes.
And tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you were able to observe when you initially approached the car.
So when I first approached the car, I saw about 4 people in the vehicle.
You only saw about 4 people?
Yes.
Do you know if there were anybody else in the vehicle?
No, I do not know.
And did you recognize anybody in the vehicle that night?
Yes.
Who did you recognize?
Mackenzie Traficante.
And who else? Did you recognize anybody else?
No.
Who is Mackenzie Traficante?
Girl from Shelton.
And how do you know her?
I know her. I went to middle school with her.
And when you approached the car, did you have a conversation with anybody in the car?
At first, yeah.
Who did you have a conversation with?
I believe it was the driver because I was asking about the McDonald's. And then after that, I really backed off. I wasn't.
So you were asking about McDonald's to the
Yeah.
driver and you backed off?
Yeah, like they said, he was like, no, we don't got a McDonald's. And I was like, all right. So I really I was off towards the side after that. Just like chilling, but I was so close to the car. Like I wasn't like far away.
When you were initially talking to the driver, were you having, did you indicate anything else to him other than whether or not he had McDonald's? Did you say anything else to him?
No.
And after your friends in the car, while you were out there,
Yes, I did.
what did you observe?
So they started like arguing while they was like near the car. And then that's where I got closer and I started like screaming like, yo, y'all gotta leave. Like, y'all gotta dip. And
What
then,
did you say? You guys gotta leave?
Yeah, gotta leave, yeah.
Okay. And what else did you say to them?
Oh, you're like, y'all gotta dip. Like, that's like another.
What does that mean?
That's another term for like leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you say that loud?
Yeah, definitely.
And what happened when you were telling them to leave?
When I was telling them to leave, they like weren't moving at first, and then like we started like rocking the car, like back and forth. And after that, they left. They went straight down the road, and they started like coming back and forth.
And when you say they went down the road, did they drive? Well, there's a map behind it. States Exhibit 1. You approach the driver's side door.
Yeah.
So was the car facing this way if you approach the driver's side door? Facing towards Farmhouse Lane?
Farmhouse, yes.
And which way did the car drive when they left?
They left. They went that way, then that way, then that way, then that way. They just kept driving back and forth.
And when they kept driving back and forth, what, if anything, was happening?
People were like chasing the car per se, like they were running behind it, like when it was going back and forth.
Do you recall if any of your friends threw anything at the car?
Yes,
Okay. And what, if anything, do you recall being thrown at the car?
I'm pretty sure it was a beer can.
And was anything thrown from the car at any point?
Not that I recall.
Now, do you recall when the beer can was thrown at the car, do you know where, did it hit the car, do you recall?
Yeah.
Where did it hit the car?
I don't know, but I heard like a shatter,
So,
like a loud like thump.
do you recall whether or not, can you see this
Yeah,
effect in the windshield?
yeah.
Do you recall whether or not was that caused by the beer can that was thrown, do you know?
I don't recall.
But you heard some type of shatter?
Yeah, like a loud like thud.
Now, at some point in time, does the car stop driving back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that. What do you recall about that happening?
When it stopped, there was some people over there. I didn't personally see what happened over there, but then
You say over there, where did they stop?
where the car stopped.
Yeah, where do you recall where on the street the car
No,
stopped?
I don't recall.
Was it close to 43 Laurel Glen or was it further away?
A bit further away. It wasn't like right exactly there.
Was it closer to Adams or was it closer to Farmhouse Road?
It was definitely closer to farmhouse.
Okay, so when the car stopped closer to Farmhouse Road, how did you see that it was stopped?
How did I see it was stopped?
Where were you?
I was like, on the side of the road.
You were on the side of the road in front of Tyler Rich's house?
Yeah.
And how long would you say you were watching what was going on down the road when the car stopped?
Like 30 seconds, if that. Like
After 30 seconds, what did you do?
What did I do? Everybody just started coming back to the house.
Okay. And did you go back inside the house?
No,
Okay, what did you do?
I didn't. I was just like outside, like with the guys. Like
Yeah.
afterwards,
What were you doing outside with the guys?
we were chilling. Like everybody was amped up a little bit. Like after it all like took place.
Do you recall whether or not any of your friends went down the street after the car?
Yes.
Do you know who went down the street?
No, I do not recall.
Now, at some point in time, do you recall whether or not your friends came back from down the street?
Yes.
And when they came back down the street, what, if anything, did you do?
I was just waiting for them to come back. Like I was just dapping people up, like whatever. After that, like I was like giving high fives, like shaking hands after,
Why were you doing that?
because they came back from running people off from the house.
Okay. And when they came back and you guys were chilling and you guys met back up, did you go have an occasion to go back inside the house?
No,
You stayed outside?
I stayed outside.
And at some point in time, when you were outside, did the car return?
Yes, it did.
Okay, can you please describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what happened when your car returned?
So when the car returned, two individuals got out of the motor vehicle and they came up to us around the front of the Rich's house. And when they came up,
I'm gonna show you stage 4.
yeah,
Can you show me on stage 4 where they came up?
when they came up, yes. So
Just describe it.
just describe it. It's towards the grass, like kind of near the red bush.
So this red bush, did it come up the street here?
Yeah,
And at what point when the car was driving up here, did you see the two individuals get out?
when they were parked, when the car was stopped.
Do you remember where the car parked or where the car stopped?
Yes,
Where?
it was on the side, like where the grass is. Like,
States 52. Can you show on States 52 where you recall the car stopped?
Where I recall the car stopped.
Okay, so somewhere over here?
Yeah, somewhere over here.
Okay. The red can reflect, it's the bottom, near the mailbox on 52 you're on.
I'll let the record reflect it's near the mailbox, but it's to the right of the mailbox. Thank you.
And when the car stopped, you said you noticed individuals get out of the car?
yes,
And who did you notice get out of the car?
Lito, and then Tyler De Silva.
Do you know Tyler De Silva?
Prior to that, no.
And do you recall what Tyler De Silva was wearing that night?
Yeah.
What was he wearing?
He had like a blue baseball jersey on.
And you said Lido. Do you know Lido?
Yeah, now I do, yes.
But prior to
Prior
that
to
night,
that, no.
And does Lido have a different name?
Raul
Raul what?
Valle.
And is Raul Valle present in the courtroom today?
Yes, he is.
And what is he wearing?
He's wearing a blue suit.
And can you please point him out for the record? Your Honor, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant in this case?
Court will allow the record to reflect that the witness has identified Mr. Raul Valle. Thank you.
Now, did anybody else get out of the car that you recognized at that point?
No,
It was just those two individuals?
just those two individuals.
And when they got out of the car, can you please describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how did they approach you and your friends?
Yes.
And how did they approach you?
Not in like, it was in, their demeanor was looking like they were trying to start a problem.
Trying to start a problem?
Yes.
Okay, and with regards to States 52, do you recall where on States 52 behind you, where they walked on the property?
Yeah.
The record can reflect he's motioning to what is the tree that is on States 52.
All right, court will allow the record to reflect that. Thank you.
How close were the defendant and Mr. De Silva when they were approaching you and your friends on the property?
Like how close were they to me?
Yeah.
So at first I wasn't really close to them. And then when they were talking to Tyler Rich, he was at the front. I overheard them say, "Where's Aiden King?" And Aiden King, that's one of my close friends. So that's when I came towards the front because they said they was looking for Aiden.
Do you know who was asking for Aiden?
No, I do not recall.
Now, how close was the defendant and Tyler De Silva to each other when they were approaching you and your friends?
Like, how close were they to each other?
Yeah.
Like, probably like 2 feet apart.
Okay. And someone walked up asking for Aiden King?
Yes.
Now, at some point in time, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, were you close to Tyler De Silva or the defendant at any particular
I was
moment?
definitely closer to Raul, the defendant.
I'm sorry?
I was closer to the defendant.
Okay. And when you were, did you have an interaction with the defendant when you were close to him?
Yes.
And what was that interaction like?
I said, y'all gotta leave and get out of here.
And what was the defense reaction to you saying he had to leave?
Just like disregarded.
And did he argue with you?
Not with me personally, no.
Was he arguing with anybody?
Yes.
What was he doing?
They was just standing there, they was bickering with Tyler Rich, like arguing with him.
It's how long would you say the arguing back and forth lasted for?
Like 30 seconds, if that.
After 30 seconds, did something happen?
Yes.
What happened?
A punch was thrown.
Do you recall who threw that punch?
Yes, I do.
Who threw that punch?
Tyler Rich.
And you recall why he threw that punch?
No, I don't recall why.
Right before the punch was thrown, were you close to the defendant?
Yes.
And do you recall who out of your friends was near you at the time?
No, I do not recall, besides Tyler Rich.
Do you know Ty Wood?
Yes, I know Tyler Wood.
Do you recall if Ty Wood was near you at the
Yes, he was outside with us.
time? Was he near you right
Yeah,
before the punch was thrown?
Yes.
And you say you know Tommy Connery?
Yes.
Was Tommy Connery close to you at the time or no?
Not really. He was a bit like behind me,
Okay.
per se.
How about Charlie Connery? Was Charlie near you at the time?
Not too close to me, no.
Now, when the punch was thrown, do you recall who got hit?
Yes.
Who got hit?
Tyler Silva.
Tyler got hit?
Yes.
And when that happened, did the fight start?
Yes.
And describe what happened when the fight started.
So when the fight started, Tyler and De Silva went to the ground, and they was over there, like towards this area right here.
And where were you in relation to 52?
Right here. I was like around here, this area, fuck up.
Okay. So it's around near the tree?
Yeah, near the tree, yes.
And did you participate in the fight?
Yes, I did.
What did you do during the fight?
I was throwing some kicks,
Okay, what kind of kicks?
like stomps, like
Were they hard? Were they soft? What kind?
they weren't too hard.
Okay. Why did you do that?
Why did I do that? Because these individuals that came on the Tyler versus property uninvited, trying to cause an issue.
Okay. Now, at some point in time, did you stop engaging in the fight?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Because I was like, it was time to start breaking up the fight.
How long would you say it lasted for, your interaction?
My interaction, like 20 seconds, if that.
And when that was going on, were you closer to Tyler DeSilva or the defendant?
I do not recall.
But you were involved in the fight?
Yes, I was.
At some point in time, tell us what happens after you stop fighting.
After I stopped fighting, stopped fighting, at first I see Tommy Convery on the ground, like with his legs. It's like he couldn't move.
Why couldn't he move?
He was stabbed. And
What did you observe about Tommy?
like he was laying on the grass, like he like couldn't move at all, and there was just blood coming from his legs. And then I looked over to the right of him, and I seen Jimmy like sitting there bleeding out, and Sal and Jacob were like trying to help him. And then after that, someone came up to me with a flashlight, and it was like, face on your arm. And all I saw was like a big piece of fat like hanging out of my arm, and just blood like bleeding down the side of me.
Do you recall being stabbed that night?
No, I do not recall.
Do you recall seeing any weapon that night?
No.
Did you have any weapons on you that night?
No.
Do you recall whether or not? Do you recall why? What's wrong? You don't recall being stabbed. Why don't you recall being stabbed?
There was so much like adrenaline flowing through my body, and I didn't even have the idea that there was a knife or anything, because I was just like turned around kinda. I didn't really see anything happen at that point, like after breaking up the fight. But then,
prior to your testimony today, did we review a video of the fight?
yes, we did.
And I want to show you just a still from that movie. This is State Exhibit 60. This is we're going to show you the slow motion version of State's Exhibit 60, frame number 178.
Yeah.
Counsel,
Yes, sure.
whenever you feel there's a good time to stop.
Okay, thank you. At 171, we're going to do frame 171. Can you see that on your screen?
Yes, I can.
171. Faison, who is this individual right here?
That's me.
You indicated before that you had a marble t-shirt on.
Yes.
Doesn't look like you have a marble t-shirt.
No, I didn't have my shirt on anymore.
Why did you not have your shirt on?
One, it was hot, and two, I was just shirtless at that point in time. Like, I took my shirt off like myself.
I don't know if this is a good moment to stop.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a good time to adjourn for the day. Obviously, the state is not done with its direct examination of the witness, that will pick back up with that later in the evidentiary portion of this trial. So I am going to remind you of your obligations and tell you that you must abide by the rules of juror conduct. I did describe those rules to you and that conduct that you have to follow in the beginning of the trial. I also have reiterated those rules throughout the course of the trial, so continue to abide by those rules. We will see you tomorrow, same time. Have a good evening. Thank you so much. Court stands adjourned.
All rise.
everybody have a great night, and I will see you in the morning bright and early.